Right? All right, our next plant is Ceanothus oliganthus in the Rhamnaceae. And I guess its common name is Jim bush. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the genus Ceanothus before I tell you how to identify this species, okay? So the genus Ceanothus is a very large genus and diverse and important in California. I believe there are somewhere around 50 or 60 species. And you can separate the genus into two parts. There's the subgenus Ceanothus, of which this is a member, and then there's subgenus Cerastes. And they are going to sound really different from one another, but the thing that they have in common, and I'll tell you about what they have different in a second, is they have very similar looking reproductive structures and fruits. And I'm looking for a dried reproductive structure on this to show you, but all Ceanothus have these things that they leave. It's kind of the base of their reproductive structure, and it looks like a Mercedes-Benz tag. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But subgenus Ceanothus are alternate-leaved plants, and they're alternate-leaved, and they have a very characteristic venation where you have 3 veins coming out from the base. Okay? So that's all the subgenus Ceanothus. This particular species, Ceanothus oliganthus, has finely serrated leaf margins. They often have these really interesting looking little black spherical glands on the margin. The underside of the leaf is pale, kind of pale greenish white, kind of contrasting with the very prominent 3 veins that are coming out from the base. And this is a species that, and a lot of Ceanothus do this, where they their shoots kind of grow out and then they kind of stop abruptly, and they're not really thorns, but they kind of can act like them. And this one is sort of intermediate. It's like, it's not going to puncture your skin, but on the other hand, you really wouldn't want to walk through a big stand of these. So that's something you can notice on Ceanothus oliganthus. And a very important character that there's a very similar looking species that we're going to see in the Bay Area called Ceanothus thursiflorus that lives generally closer to the coast. In that, thursiflorus has ribbed stems with angles on them, and oliganthus does not. Oliganthus has just cylindrical stems. So if you took a snipped here, you would see a circular cross section for this guy. This guy lives in generally more chaparral habitat. You can see here we got kind of a little bit of an opening that's kind of closing up. Bay laurels are sort of taking over. But generally you don't see these guys in too many forested habitats. They're more common in kind of chaparral or open woodland. And they live just in California. Here in the Bay Area, you find this species kind of from the drier parts of the Berkeley Hills, towards the Mount Diablo and into the drier parts of the Bay Area, whereas thursiflorus lives kind of more in the wetter habitats in the Bay Area. And this guy lives, it goes down into Southern California, into the Coast Ranges. I think it probably grows all the way into, I'm going to guess San Diego, but I'm not positive. And probably just not too much further north than here, I'm guessing, in maybe the drier parts of Mendocino County. So Ceanothus oliganthus has cylindrical stems, has alternate leaves that are very variable in size, by the way. Can be really tiny, like this one here, to bigger. And they are finely toothed. They have often black little spherical glands at the teeth, and with these really prominent 3 veins on the base.